Imagine a dark cave atop the rugged peaks of Crete, where droplets of water glisten like stars, trapped in stone. The wind howls through mountain crevices, carrying the scent of damp earth and sweet honey. Here, in the cradle of darkness, a young god is being nurtured, hidden from the scythe of fate. Have you ever wondered how a child could overthrow the entire cosmos? Let me tell you the story of Zeus, who shook the heavens even as a babe crying in the arms of divine nymphs. So, before you settle in, take a moment to like this video and subscribe, but only if you truly enjoy what I'm doing here. Chapter 1. The Mysterious Origin of Zeus. On the island of Crete, beneath the shadow of jagged mountains, the story of Zeus begins in a hidden cave deep within Mount Dicte. Rhea, Zeus's mother, kneels on the cold stone floor, beads of sweat glistening on her brow as she wraps her youngest son in a rough cloth. In the distance, the sound of waves crashing against the shore echoes like the heartbeat of the earth itself. Rhea knows the fate of her children all too well. Cronus, her husband, a ruthless titan, has swallowed each of her offspring at birth, fearing a prophecy that one would overthrow him. But Rhea refuses to let Zeus share their fate. With a pounding heart, she entrusts Zeus to the nymphs Adrasteia and Ida, who lurk in the shadows, their eyes glowing like embers. They vow to keep him secret, shielding the young god from his father's wrath. The cave on Mount Dicte is more than a hideout. It is a natural fortress, with jagged limestone walls and a narrow entrance that even light struggles to penetrate. Here, the scent of Amalthea's goat milk mingles with the sweet aroma of honey from mountain beehives. The sacred goat, its fur white as morning mist, nurses Zeus with warm milk, while outside, the Cretan warriors stand guard. They clash their shields, the metallic clangs reverberating like thunder, drowning out Zeus's cries. Each strike is a defiance hurled at Cronus, as if the mountains themselves are protecting this child. A quirky detail. It's said that the bees on the mountain didn't just provide honey, they guarded the cave, ready to swarm any intruder who dared approach. Zeus grows up in darkness, but not in fear. Each day, the divine child feels a power stirring in his chest, like a storm taking shape. The nymphs whisper to him tales of the sky, of stars he has yet to see, and of the destiny awaiting him. A notable historical fact: Mount Dicte isn't the only place claimed as Zeus's birthplace. Some myths suggest he was raised on Mount Ida, or even in Thebes or Messenia. But Crete, with its mysterious caves and legends of nymphs, remains the most celebrated. Why? Perhaps because this isolated, rugged island is the perfect symbol of a hidden yet powerful beginning. As Zeus begins to walk, his tiny feet tread on the cold stone, creating faint echoes as if the earth itself is whispering back. The smoke from the Cretan fires blends with the scent of dry oak leaves, evoking a world both wild and sacred. He learns to listen to the wind, to the rustling leaves, as if they're teaching him the language of the sky. His caretakers, Amalthea, the nymphs, not only protect him, but prepare him for a grand mission to overthrow the Titans and reshape the cosmos. Another intriguing detail. Some stories say Zeus played with small stones in the cave, accidentally sparking tiny flames, a first hint of the lightning that would become his hallmark. As dawn breaks over Mount Dicte, pale golden light seeps through stone cracks, illuminating Zeus's face, now bearing the features of a youthful god. He stands at the cave's entrance, breathing in the salty sea air, feeling the power blazing in his veins. The story of Zeus's birth and upbringing is not just a myth, it's the prelude to a cosmic revolution. As night falls on Crete, the gentle lapping of waves becomes a lullaby, and Zeus closes his eyes, dreaming of the sky he will soon rule. Chapter 2. The plot to overthrow Cronus. Atop Mount Dicta, the air is crisp, carrying the scent of pine resin and smoke from the fires of the Curetes warriors. Zeus, now a divine youth, stands tall, his black hair flowing in the wind like clouds before a storm. His eyes gleam like the first bolt of lightning, ablaze with determination. The scent of honey from his childhood lingers in his memory, but Zeus is no longer a fugitive child. He is ready to confront his father, Cronus, the Titan who devoured his siblings. But how can a young god overthrow the ruler of the cosmos? The answer lies in an unexpected ally, a wise goddess, and a daring plan that makes the heavens tremble. Zeus does not act alone. He seeks out Metis, the goddess of wisdom, whose eyes shine like fire and whose voice is as gentle as a stream. In a dense forest on Crete, where sunlight filters through leaves in patches of light and shadow, Metis whispers her plan. The scent of damp earth and oak bark surrounds them, as if the earth itself endorses their conspiracy. Metis hands Zeus a vial of magical potion, its colors shimmering like stars, with a sharp, heady scent like aged wine. "This is the key," she says, "to freeing your siblings." Zeus nods, feeling the weight of the vial in his hand, as if it holds the fate of the universe. Their plan is so bold, it borders on madness. Zeus disguises himself as a cupbearer and enters Cronus's palace, where the air is heavy with the scent of metal and smoke from torches. Cronus, towering and with a beard as dark as night, sits on a cold throne, his piercing eyes scanning every corner. Zeus, cloaked in shadow, pours Metis' potion into the Titan's wine. Each drop falls with a sound like rain on stone. When Cronus drains the cup, a horrific roar echoes. The Titan clutches his stomach, his face contorted, and from his mouth, the devoured gods, Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon emerge, stumbling into the dim light of the palace, one by one. This historical event, recounted in ancient Greek mythology, marks the first turning point in Zeus's war against the Titans. But there's a quirky detail few know. Some myths claim the cup Zeus used to trick Cronus was crafted from the horn of Amalthea, the goat who nursed him as a child. This horn later became a symbol of abundance, known as the cornucopia, a testament to Zeus's cunning even in the most perilous moments. As Zeus's siblings stand beside him, the air hums with newfound power. No longer imprisoned children, they are gods filled with righteous fury, ready to reclaim their birthright. Zeus leads them, his voice booming like thunder, rallying them for a greater war. The smell of smoke from Cronus's palace clings to his cloak, a reminder of the betrayal they've overcome. Metis, standing in the shadows, smiles, knowing her plan succeeded, but also aware that this is only the beginning. As the sunset bathes Crete's sky in red, Zeus and his siblings stand on a cliff, gazing at the glittering sea. The wind carries the scent of salt and the sound of waves, as if singing a song of their first victory. Zeus grips the empty vial, feeling his power swell like a storm about to break. His story is no longer just about survival. It's about reshaping the cosmos. Chapter 3. The Great Titan War. The wind howls through the mountains of Greece, carrying the scent of sulfur and ash, as if the earth itself is gasping before an impending war. Zeus stands on a high peak, his cloak billowing in the fierce gusts, his eyes blazing like lightning bolts ready to strike. Below, the valley trembles with the roars of the Titans, colossal beings with the strength to tear the sky apart. Beside Zeus stand his siblings, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, Hestia, their gazes steely, prepared for a battle to decide the fate of the cosmos. After tricking Cronus into regurgitating them with the horn cup potion, Zeus now leads them against their father and the other Titans. But how can they defeat such immortal foes? Zeus is not alone in this war. From the depths of Tartarus, where darkness clings like tar and the air reeks of rusted metal, he frees 6 celestial giants, 3 Cyclopes, and 3 Hecatonchires. The Cyclopes, with their single eyes glowing like forges, gift Zeus his ultimate weapon, shimmering lightning bolts, searing hot, crackling like volcanic eruptions. Each time Zeus swings his arm, the air tears apart, the sharp scent of ozone spreading, making even the Titans falter. The Hecatonchires, 100-handed creatures, hurl stones like a meteor shower, each impact booming like thunder, shaking the heavens and earth. This war, known as the Titanomachy in Greek mythology, rages for 10 years, a historical event chronicled by Hesiod in the Theogony. The sky blazes with Zeus's lightning, while the earth splits under the Titan's might. Cronus, with hair black as night and a voice like an earthquake, leads his forces, but even he cannot withstand Zeus's wrath. A quirky detail. Some myths say the Cyclopes not only forged lightning for Zeus, but also crafted an invisibility helmet for Hades, allowing him to slip through shadows for surprise attacks. This helmet, gleaming like moonlight trapped in stone, was a secret whispered among the gods. The battle reaches its climax when Zeus, atop Olympus, unleashes a massive lightning bolt at Cronus. The blinding light is like the sun crashing to earth, the acrid smell of burning stone filling the battlefield. Cronus falls, his final roar echoing like a curse. The other Titans, overwhelmed by Zeus's power and the Hecatonchires' barrage, are chained and cast into Tartarus, guarded by the very giants they once imprisoned. The air in the abyss is thick with sulfur and the groans of the defeated. Zeus stands on Olympus, sweat glistening on his brow, still clutching the searing lightning bolt. His siblings gather around, their eyes reflecting both triumph and exhaustion. The wind sweeps through, carrying the scent of wildflowers from the fields below, a reminder that peace has been won, if only for now. He gazes at the sky, where clouds part to reveal twinkling stars, as if the cosmos celebrates his victory. But Zeus knows his throne is not yet secure, and new challenges await. Chapter 4. Dividing Cosmic Power. The sky over Olympus glows with golden light, as if the sun itself bows to Zeus's victory. The wind carries the scent of salt from distant seas, mingling with the lingering smoke from the Titanomachy, where Zeus's lightning incinerated Cronus's ambitions. Below, clouds churn like waves, and the echoes of battle still hum in the air. Zeus, now standing tall as a king, his black hair gleaming with sweat, surveys his siblings, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, Hestia, who fought alongside him to topple the Titans. But after victory, a question lingers. Who will rule the newly won cosmos? Zeus summons his siblings to a council on Olympus's peak, where the air is fresh and cool, scented with pine resin from the forests below. Before them lie 3 small stones, shimmering like gems, placed on a flat rock. Each stone represents a realm of the cosmos, the sky, the sea, and the underworld. With a voice like thunder, Zeus proposes a fair lottery. "We fought together," he says, "and we will share together." Poseidon, his hair green as sea foam, nods, while Hades, his eyes deep as an abyss, watches silently. Hera, her gaze sharp, stands nearby, her hands clenched as if sensing future conflicts. The lottery unfolds in silence, broken only by the wind whistling through the rocks. Zeus draws the stone for the sky, the supreme domain, where he will reign with lightning in hand. Poseidon claims the sea, where waves will obey his will. Hades, with a somber expression, receives the underworld, home to shadows and souls. They agree that the earth will be a shared realm where gods and mortals coexist. This historical event, recorded in Greek mythology, marks the division of power after the Titanomachy, establishing a new cosmic order. But there's a quirky detail rarely mentioned. Some myths claim Zeus's stone bore a faint lightning-shaped mark, as if fate ordained his rule of the sky. Was the lottery truly fair, or did Metis, the goddess of wisdom who helped Zeus trick Cronus with the horn cup potion, secretly intervene? No one knows for sure, but the tale is whispered among the gods, a secret hidden in the clouds. As the gods depart the council, the air on Olympus grows calmer, yet tension lingers. Zeus strides to the mountain's edge, gazing at the world below, where the sunset paints the horizon red. He feels the weight of the sky on his shoulders, not just power, but responsibility. The smoke from the battle has faded, replaced by the scent of wildflowers from Greece's fields. Hera, standing at a distance, glances at him with an unreadable expression, as if she knows his throne will never know true peace. Poseidon and Hades depart, each bearing their new authority. The distant crash of waves signals Poseidon's farewell, while Hades steps into darkness, where the scent of cold earth and damp stone awaits. Zeus raises his hand, feeling the electric pulse of an unseen lightning bolt, as if the sky whispers its blessing. He knows the Titan War was only the beginning, and more trials loom. But for now, Olympus is his home, and he will defend it. Chapter 5. King of the Gods. Atop Olympus, the air is crisp, scented with pine resin and wildflowers from distant Greek valleys. Zeus sits on a newly forged throne, carved from white marble that gleams like starlight. Clutching a lightning bolt still warm from the Titanomachy, his cloak billows in the breeze like clouds swirling before a storm. Below, other gods gather, their eyes a mix of awe and curiosity. Having won the sky in the lottery, Zeus must now prove himself worthy of kingship. But how can a young god, once hidden in a cave on Mount Dicte, establish order over the entire cosmos? Zeus is more than a warrior. He embodies law and fate. With a voice like thunder, he declares his supreme authority, commanding the gods to obey his will. Beside him stands Themis, the goddess of justice, regal, her eyes bright as gems, her robe shimmering like moonlight. As his advisor, she helps shape the cosmic order. Her words, like the rustling oak leaves at Dodona, carry the weight of justice. Zeus also summons Dice and Nemesis, goddesses of fairness and retribution, to ensure every act of god or mortal is judged. The scent of smoke from Hestia's sacred fire, Zeus's sister, fills the hall, creating a warm yet solemn atmosphere. In Homeric epics, Zeus is depicted as the supreme god, ruling over immortal gods and mortals alike. He protects public assemblies, presides over councils, and watches over households as Zeus Herkaios. A quirky detail. Some temples believed Zeus could transform into an eagle to survey the world from above, its wings stirring winds strong enough to shake sacred oaks. It's said that once, Zeus's eagle accidentally dropped a feather into a village, and the locals worshipped it as a holy relic, believing it brought good fortune. Zeus doesn't rule by strength alone. He sets rules for oaths, hospitality, and the protection of suppliants. When an oath is broken, the air seems to grow heavier, as if the sky itself is angered. He is also the source of all prophecies, from the rustling leaves at Dodona to mortals' enigmatic dreams. Once, standing before his throne, Zeus brandished his lightning, unleashing a boom that shook Olympus, a reminder that he determines fate, and even fate bows to him. But not everyone accepts Zeus's authority without question. Hera, his sister and future wife, stands at the hall's edge, her gaze sharp as a blade. The scent of wildflowers from her robe mingles with Hestia's fire smoke, creating a strange contrast, gentleness and tension. She knows Zeus will face new challenges, not only from external foes, but from those closest to him. Zeus senses her stare, but merely smiles, running his hand along the lightning bolt like an old friend. As the sunset bathes Olympus in soft gold, the sky seems to bless its new king. The gentle wind, carrying the breath of sea and mountain, whispers that order has been established, if only for now. Zeus rises, gazing at the world below, where mortals begin building temples in his honor. He breathes deeply, the scent of ozone from his lightning mingling with flowers, knowing he's ready for what lies ahead. Chapter 6. A Turbulent Love. Zeus, king of the gods, sits on his throne, his eyes gleaming like lightning. But today, his mind is not on battlefields. Beneath a fiery sunset, he watches Hera, his sister and now wife, glide through the hall, her robe shimmering like moonlight. Their relationship, celebrated in Greek mythology, is a tempest of passion, jealousy, and strife, like clouds clashing in the sky. But how does a marriage between two mighty gods become a battlefield? The story begins in an earthly forest, where the scent of wet grass and damp oak fills the air. Zeus, disguised as a small cuckoo bird, its wings drenched by rain, seeks Hera. The patter of rain on leaves echoes like a lover's heartbeat. Hera, radiant with beauty, her dark hair gleaming, pities the trembling bird and cradles it. When Zeus resumes his divine form, his eyes ablaze, Hera, though angered by the deception, cannot resist his allure. Their marriage is celebrated on Olympus, with the wind singing like a hymn and the scent of wildflowers spreading like a blessing from the earth. But peace is fleeting. Hera, goddess of marriage, tolerates no betrayal. Zeus, with his free spirit, often leaves Olympus for other lovers, leaving Hera in a fury. A historical note. In mythology, Hera frequently schemes against Zeus, aiding heroes who defy him or challenging his authority. Once, she lulled Zeus into a deep sleep with a spell, allowing her to meddle in mortal affairs. The smoke from Hestia's sacred fire, ever burning in the hall, seems heavier during their quarrels, as if Olympus itself sighs. In some myths, Hera disguised herself as an old woman to test Zeus, asking him the meaning of love. Unaware it was his wife, Zeus replied that love is freedom, a statement that enraged Hera as it clashed with the sacred vows she cherished. This small tale spread among the gods, a reminder of their differences. Yet their love remains fierce. One evening, Zeus and Hera stand at Olympus's edge, gazing at the world. The wind carries sea salt, mingling with the floral scent of Hera's robe. Zeus takes her hand, and for a rare moment, they are silent, letting the distant waves tell their own story. But Hera knows, and Zeus knows, that his adventures will continue, and more storms await. He strokes his lightning bolt, feeling his power, but also Hera's piercing gaze, a warning. Chapter 7. Famous Seductions. Night winds sweep through Greece's fields, carrying the scent of dry grass and salty sea, as if the earth whispers tales of love. Zeus, king of Olympus, stands on a cloud, his eyes twinkling like stars, his lightning bolt flickering like a lover's pulse. Under silver moonlight, he gazes at the mortal world, where human hearts race under a god's allure. After clashes with Hera, Zeus seeks joy in romantic escapades, transforming to seduce mortal women, from a majestic swan to shimmering golden rain. But these stories are more than passion. They are symphonies of fate. One famous tale unfolds in Argos, where Danae, a princess, is locked in a bronze tower. The air inside reeks of metal and damp stone, But one day, radiant golden light slips through a crack like molten sun. Zeus, as a shower of gold, glides through, each drop sparkling like jewels, warm with the sky's breath. Danae, her hair flowing like a midnight river, embraces the god, and from their union, Perseus, the hero who slays Medusa, is born. The ozone scent of the golden rain lingers, a reminder of Zeus's might. Elsewhere, beneath an ancient oak, Zeus becomes a white swan to woo Leda. Rustling leaves blend with the murmur of a nearby river, crafting a gentle melody. Leda, captivated by the swan's soft wings and deep eyes, is unaware a god hides within. From this encounter, Helen of Troy is born, the woman who sparks a great war. A quirky detail. It's said Zeus later gave Leda a swan feather, which she treasured, believing it held protective power. Zeus's mortal liaisons, recorded in Greek epics, not only produce heroes, but shape city-states' destinies. Take Europa, abducted by Zeus as a white bull. On a windswept beach, the scent of sea salt mixes with wildflowers as Europa strokes the bull's soft fur, unaware it will carry her across the sea to Crete. From her, a line of kings arises, and Europe bears her name as a legacy. But these adventures come at a cost. Hera, watching from Olympus, her gaze sharp as a blade, grows bitter, the floral scent of her robe turning acrid when Zeus strays. She doesn't just stew in jealousy, she retaliates, making mortal women suffer her wrath. Zeus, aware of this, persists, as if his heart is an untamed storm. He stands on his cloud, gazing at the moonlit paths he's trodden, each one telling a love story. As night deepens, stars gleam like golden raindrops in the sky. The distant crash of waves and gentle breeze sing a lullaby. Zeus, though supreme, surrenders to the quiet, feeling the world's breath. Chapter 8. Punishing bold Prometheus. On the rugged Caucasus Mountains, icy winds wail like mourners, carrying the scent of wet stone and distant fire smoke. Zeus, atop a hovering cloud, his lightning bolt gleaming with angry light, glares at Prometheus, the Titan who was once an ally, but now a traitor. The air is thick with ozone and ash, as if the sky holds Zeus's fury. Prometheus stole fire from Olympus, a bold act that gave mortals light and warmth, but defied Zeus's authority. This deed, like a bolt from Zeus's own hand, demands harsh punishment. Prometheus is chained to a sheer cliff, cold iron shackles biting his wrists and ankles, creaking with each futile struggle. The scent of blood and metal fills the air as an eagle, its wings vast as night, sent by Zeus, tears at his liver daily. The eagle's cries echo through the valley, sharp as shattering stone. But Prometheus, an immortal titan, regrows his liver each night, making his torment eternal. Zeus watches from above, his gaze cold as marble, ensuring the traitor feels the weight of his defiance. In Greek mythology, Prometheus's story, told in Aeschylus's Prometheus Bound, highlights the clash between gods and mortals. Zeus, guardian of order, cannot forgive Prometheus for stealing fire, a symbol of knowledge and progress. But the punishment extends further. To chastise humanity, Zeus orders the creation of Pandora, the first woman, bearing a jar of woes. When Pandora opens it, the air fills with the stench of chaos. Disease, sorrow, and discord spread across the world, leaving only hope trapped at the jar's bottom. A quirky detail: some myths say Pandora's box was actually a clay pythos, a common household jar in ancient Greece, transformed into a symbol of curiosity and calamity when given to mortals. Rumors suggest Hera, fueled by jealousy over Zeus's romantic escapades, proposed Pandora's creation to punish both humanity and her husband. On Olympus, Zeus sits on his throne, the scent of Hestia's sacred fire wafting by, reminding him of the flame Prometheus stole. He strokes his lightning bolt, feeling his power, but a fleeting thought crosses his mind. Is this punishment too cruel? He dismisses it quickly, for order must prevail. Below the Caucasus, the wind sings a mournful tune, blending with Prometheus's cries, a reminder of defiance's cost. As the sunset stains the horizon red, the sky grows still, only the rustle of distant oaks breaking the silence. The scent of wildflowers rises from the valley, soft as a comfort. Zeus gazes at the world, where mortals still kindle fires nightly, defying his wrath. Chapter 9. The devastating Great Flood. Rain falls heavily on Greece's fields, carrying the scent of wet earth and a biting chill, as if the sky weeps for humanity's corruption. Zeus atop Olympus, his lightning bolt flickering like an angry pulse, stands with a cloak billowing in the storm. His icy gaze sweeps the world below, where mortals have grown wicked, indifferent to the gods. The smoke from villages, lit by Prometheus's stolen fire, now mingles with the stench of sin. After punishing Prometheus with chains and an eagle, Zeus deems humanity unworthy of that light. A great flood, like a dark shroud, will wipe them from the earth. Zeus summons the gods on Olympus, where the air is heavy with ozone and Hestia's fire smoke. With a thunderous voice, he orders Poseidon to churn the seas and the wind gods to blow fiercer. Rain pours like arrows, waters rise, submerging fields and cities. The roar of waves blends with crashing trees and sliding rocks, a symphony of destruction. Yet, amid his wrath, Zeus spies a righteous pair, Deucalion, Prometheus's son, and Hera, his wife. They stand on a hill, hand in hand, floodwaters lapping at their ankles, the scent of sea salt and mud clinging to their clothes. In Greek mythology, the Great Flood, recounted in Ovid's Metamorphoses, symbolizes purification and rebirth. Zeus, as god of order, spares Deucalion and Hera, commanding them to build an ark. As the waters recede, they drift to Mount Parnassus, where the air is fresh, scented with wet pine. A voice from the sky, echoing like wind through a cave, instructs them to throw stones over their shoulders. Each stone hits the ground, mud cracks, and new humans sprout like trees from soil. A quirky detail, some myths call the stones Deucalion and Hera, through bones of Mother Earth, referring to Gaia. Certain tales claim a few stones became animals instead of people, creating new species, as if the Earth itself added a surprise. This makes one wonder if Zeus intentionally left some chaos in his renewal plan. On Olympus, Zeus watches from a cloud, his lightning bolt dimming, as if his anger has cooled. The scent of rain lingers, but sunlight creeps through, forming a shimmering rainbow. Iris, Zeus's messenger, Deucalion and Hera, standing in a reborn field, breathe the scent of fresh grass and revived earth, a promise of tomorrow. Zeus, though stern, has given humanity a second chance, but he knows they'll test him again. Hera, watching from afar, gives him an enigmatic look, as if reminding him even the king of gods cannot control all. Chapter 10. War against the giants. On Greece's rugged hills, the air reeks of sulfur and scorched earth, as if the ground roars in fury. Zeus, atop Olympus, his lightning bolt blazing like fire, his gaze sharp as a blade slicing clouds, stands firm. Below, the earth quakes with the heavy steps of the giants, Gaia's children, born to avenge the imprisoned Titans. The wind carries their howls, mixed with the scent of shattered stone and burnt grass. After the flood, Zeus thought order was secure, but Gaia, Mother Earth, rejects his rule. A new, fiercer war looms, The giants, towering like mountains, their skin hard as granite, assault Olympus, hurling massive boulders that shake the sky like a torn veil. Zeus, his cloak whipping in the storm, rallies the gods. Poseidon wields his trident, raising towering waves. Athena, her shield gleaming, leads the charge. Apollo, his bow bright as the sun, fires flaming arrows. But Zeus is the battle's heart, each lightning bolt he hurls booming like a volcano, the sharp scent of ozone scattering the giants. A historical note. This war, the Gigantomachy in Greek mythology, proves Zeus's supreme might, depicted in ancient art from pottery to mosaics. Some myths say the giants could only be slain by a god and mortal together. Heracles, Zeus's favored son from his liaison with Alcmene, joins the fray, using bow and strength to fell Alcyoneus, the giant's king. It's said Heracles kept a battle stone, sparkling like a gem with giant's blood, as a relic believed to hold divine and human power. The battle peaks as Zeus faces Porphyrion, a ferocious giant with hair like flame. Porphyrion charges, earth and smoke rising from him, but Zeus, with a brilliant lightning bolt, fells him, cracking the earth into a new valley. Other gods, from Hera to Ares, fight on, their weapons clashing like thunder. When the last giant falls, Olympus grows silent, the wind carrying wildflowers and ash, both a blessing and warning from Gaia. Zeus stands on the battlefield, his lightning bolt still searing, sweat shining on his brow. Hera, watching from a distance, gives a complex look, recalling their marital storms. He breathes deeply, the cool air and fresh earth scent promising fleeting peace. But Zeus knows Gaia, though defeated, still watches, and new trials await. He strokes his lightning bolt, like an old friend, and gazes at the starlit sky. Chapter 11. The terrifying battle with Typhoeus. Under a pitch-black sky, the air is thick with sulfur and ash, as if the earth exhales its final rage. Zeus stands on Olympus, his lightning bolt blazing like eternal fire. But now he faces a foe more terrifying than titans or giants. Typhoeus, Gaia's most monstrous offspring, rises from the earth, a towering beast with 100 serpent heads, each mouth spewing fire and roaring like volcanoes. The wind carries their hisses and the scent of burnt soil, a declaration of war from Mother Earth. After the Gigantomachy, Zeus thought his throne secure, but Typhoeus is the ultimate test, a tempest threatening to shred the cosmos. The battle erupts in chaos. Typhoeus charges, his serpent head spitting fire, painting the sky blood red. Zeus, his cloak billowing, hurls lightning, each strike cracking like breaking stone, the sharp ozone scent spreading. But Typhoeus is too strong. He tears the sinews from Zeus's limbs, leaving the king of gods helpless in a dark cave. The air is cold, reeking of damp stone and blood, as if darkness itself swallows Zeus. Other gods, terrified by the monster's might, flee, leaving Olympus silent, save for the wind's lament. In Hesiod's Theogony, the battle with Typhoeus is the pinnacle of Zeus's wars, symbolizing the final clash with primal chaos. But the story doesn't end. Pan, the wild goat-footed god, sneaks into the cave, carrying the scent of wild grass and oak. With cunning, Pan restores Zeus's sinews, reviving him. Zeus rises with renewed strength, unleashing his mightiest lightning bolt, its blinding light like a falling sun, searing Typhoeus. The monster roars one last time, and Zeus, with a final strike, imprisons him beneath Mount Etna, where his cries become the volcano's rumble. A quirky detail. It's said that when Typhoeus was trapped, Etna's smoke carried the scent of strange herbs, believed to come from his dying serpent heads. Locals thought these herbs, if gathered at the right time, could heal, an unexpected gift from the horrific battle. On Olympus, Zeus returns to his throne, sweat glistening, his lightning bolt still searing. The battle's smoke fades, replaced by wildflowers and the mountain's cool air. Hera, at the hall's edge, watches with a mix of pride and doubt, as if knowing even this victory doesn't ensure lasting peace. Zeus breathes deeply, the sky's power filling his chest, and looks at the world, where Etna's smoke rises, a reminder of his vanquished foe. Chapter 12. The Divine Retinue. In Olympus's grand hall, the air is rich with smoke from Hestia's sacred fire, blending with wildflower scents from distant valleys. Zeus, king of the gods, sits on a gleaming throne, his lightning bolt pulsing like the sky's heartbeat. His cloak sways in a cool breeze, carrying sea salt and pine resin from Olympus's forests. After defeating Typhoeus, Zeus's throne is secure, but he doesn't rule alone. Around him is a divine retinue, each minor god a star orbiting his sun, ensuring cosmic order. By his throne stand four winged spirits: Kratos, strength incarnate, muscles like stone; Zelos, competitive spirit, eyes sharp as blades; Nike, victory goddess, wings shimmering like moonlight; and Bia, force personified, stance cold as a gale. The metallic scent of their armor mixes with fire smoke, evoking awe and fear. Kratos and Bia once chained Prometheus for Zeus, and now stand ready to enforce his will. Nike, petite as a living statue, sometimes flutters around Zeus, her laurel scent recalling triumphs. Hermes, Zeus's messenger, glides through the hall, his winged sandals whispering like a breeze. With a mischievous smile and the scent of wild grass on his cloak, he carries news between gods and mortals, a wind linking worlds. Iris, rainbow goddess, follows, her robe gleaming like water, bearing the fresh scent of rain. Her clear voice, like bells in a storm, delivers Zeus's commands. A historical note: in Greek mythology, this retinue isn't just attendants, but symbols of Zeus's supreme power, depicted in Homeric poems as a perfect support system for the king of gods. It's said that Ganymede, a youth Zeus abducted as an eagle, now serves as Olympus's cupbearer. Spilling a few drops of nectar, which fall to earth as sweet springs, he fills the hall with a honey-like scent, softening its solemnity. Themis, goddess of justice, sits by Zeus, her gem-like eyes and robe scented with jasmine. She convenes divine councils, ensuring cosmic order. Her daughters, the Moirai and Horai, stand behind, like gentle shadows, carrying the scent of earth and harvests. Hestia, Zeus's sister, tends the sacred fire, its warm glow making Olympus a home. Metis, though swallowed by Zeus, still whispers counsel from within, her voice like rustling leaves, recalling her aid against Cronus. As the sunset gilds the hall, Zeus surveys his retinue, feeling his power bolstered by their loyalty. Hera, watching from afar, her gaze unreadable, reminds him that even this retinue cannot calm their marital storms. Chapter 13. Symbols of Supreme Power. Atop Olympus, the air is cool, scented with pine resin from distant forests and salt from the glittering Aegean below. Zeus, king of the gods, stands tall, his lightning bolt blazing like eternal fire, its faint thunder like the sky's pulse. His cloak billows in the breeze, his sharp gaze sweeping the world, where mortals and gods revere his might. After subduing Typhoeus and assembling his retinue, Zeus now solidifies his authority through sacred symbols: the lightning bolt, eagle, and oak. These aren't just emblems of power, but declarations of his supreme rule. The lightning bolt, Zeus's signature weapon, glimmers like a captured meteor, its sharp ozone scent rising with each swing. It's not just a tool of war, but a symbol of justice, each strike a verdict from the sky. Beside him, an eagle soars, its eyes keen as blades, carrying the scent of storm winds and feathers. It surveys the lands, a second pair of eyes for Zeus. The evergreen oak, its leaves rustling like whispered prophecies, stands tall at Dodona, where priests interpret its murmurs for Zeus's will. The scent of dry oak wood and damp earth from the sacred grove fills the air, a reminder of Zeus's enduring presence. In Greek mythology, these symbols appear in ancient art, from Phidias' statue of Zeus at Olympia to pottery depicting him with bolt, eagle, or throne. A quirky detail. It's said that at Dodona, an ancient oak struck by lightning survived, and priests saw it as Zeus's blessing, building an altar from its charred wood. That oak, with its scent of burnt resin and fresh leaves, became the holiest site for seeking prophecies. Zeus's throne, carved from marble and gold, gleams in Olympus's hall, where Hestia's fire smoke blends with wildflower scents. On it, he often holds a small statue of Nike, a reminder of victories over Titans and Typhoeus. Nearby hangs the Aegis, a goatskin shield, trembling when Zeus rages, stirring storms that terrify the world. Its scent of tanned leather and metal warns that Zeus's power is unchallengeable. Hera, at the hall's edge, watches Zeus stroke his bolt, her gaze sharp as a blade. The jasmine scent of her robe mingles with fire smoke, a strange mix of love and tension. She knows Zeus's symbols not only bolster his rule but remind her of his wanderings. But Zeus smiles, feeling the sky's power in every breath, and gazes at the world, where mortals build temples in his honor. Chapter 14. Worship at Dodona and Olympia. In the dense forests of Epirus, the air is rich with the scent of dry oak leaves and damp earth, where the sacred oak at Dodona rustles like whispered prophecies. Zeus, king of the gods, though enthroned on Olympus, is present here in the murmur of leaves and the cool breeze carrying sea salt from afar. Farther south, at Olympia, the scent of altar smoke blends with olive leaves, where mortals gather to honor Zeus through contests. After securing his rule with bolt and eagle, Zeus becomes the heart of devotion, from oracular shrines to national festivals. These places are not just sacred, they are the pulse of a world that worships him. At Dodona, Greece's oldest oracle, priests stand beneath the oak's canopy, listening to its leaves rustle in the wind, as if Zeus speaks directly. The cool air, scented with tree resin and wet stone, creates a mystical aura. Each gust stirs the leaves, revealing Zeus's will for human fates. A historical note: Dodona was a vital religious center, mentioned in Homer's Iliad, drawing seekers from across Greece for prophecies on war, crops, or love. A quirky detail: it said a woodpecker once tapped the sacred oak in an odd rhythm, and priests deemed it Zeus's message, sparking a rush to interpret it. At Olympia, the air is livelier, thick with sacrificial smoke and olive leaf scents from the sacred grove. Every 5 years, the Olympic Games honor Zeus, attracting athletes and spectators from far and wide. Phidias' colossal statue of Zeus, gleaming with gold and ivory, looms in the temple, its light like reflected lightning. The crowd's cheers, mixed with sweat and smoke, form a symphony of devotion. Legend claims Heracles, Zeus's favored son, founded the games, awarding olive wreaths to victors, echoing his battles in the Gigantomachy. Zeus watches from a cloud, his lightning bolt flickering like a greeting. The scent of Hestia's hall fire blends with wild flowers, a bridge between gods and mortals. Hera, beside him, her gaze still sharp, joins the rituals, though her jealousy never fades. Zeus feels the worship from Dodona and Olympia, like the world's heartbeat, reinforcing his rule. He strokes his bolt, breathes the cool air, and smiles, thinking of rustling oaks and olive wreaths. Chapter 15. The Immortal Legend of Zeus. Atop Olympus, the sunset gilds the clouds, carrying the gentle scent of pine resin and distant sea salt. Zeus, king of the gods, stands silently, his lightning bolt flickering like eternal flame, his gaze sweeping the world where mortals still tell his tales. The cool air, scented with wildflowers and Hestia's sacred fire smoke, recalls his long journey, from a Cretan cave to the sky's throne. After battles with Titans, giants, and Typhoeus, after loves and festivals at Dodona and Olympia, Zeus has shaped the cosmos, leaving a legacy enduring through timeless myths. Zeus strides through the hall, his footsteps echoing lightly on marble, like Olympus's heartbeat. He surveys his retinue, Kratos, Nike, Hermes, Iris, each a part of his realm, like stars around a sun. The scent of laurel from his wreath mingles with fire smoke, evoking the Olympics and mortal devotion. He reflects on his adventures, from golden rain with Danae to a swan with Leda, each tale a thread in the mythic tapestry. A historical note. Greek epics like the Iliad and Theogony portray Zeus not just as the thunder god, but the father of gods and men, shaping fate through justice and might. A quirky detail. In a small Cretan temple, a stone from Zeus's childhood cave is said to glow faintly at night, as if holding his power. Locals keep it on an altar, praying for protection, as Zeus was once shielded by Amalthea and nymphs. Such stories, from Dodona to Olympia, from bolts to oaks, make Zeus's name immortal, echoing in wind and waves. Hera approaches Zeus, her gaze softer yet still sharp. The jasmine scent of her robe blends with the air, like a truce between them. Zeus takes her hand, feeling its warmth, and they gaze at the world, where temple fires twinkle like stars. He knows his legacy is not just power, but stories living in mortal hearts. From heroes like Heracles to oracles under oaks. As the sunset fades, the sky turns gentle purple, stars twinkling like golden raindrops for Danae. The breeze, carrying oak leaves and sea salt, sings a soft lullaby. Zeus closes his eyes, Olympus's breath soothing his mind, feeling his myth's eternity. Under silver moonlight, Olympus falls silent, only the wind whispering through oaks, carrying scents of fresh earth and wildflowers. Zeus, sky's king, rests, his lightning bolt dimming, like embers fading in a hearth. His stories, from Crete's cave to Typhoeus' defeat, from loves to the Olympics, linger like waves lapping distant shores. Each tale is a star, twinkling in the night sky, inviting dreams.